All right. Welcome to episode 200 of Live Drawing. Thanks for joining us here tonight. We'll wait a little bit and see if people trickle in. And got a stack of sketch covers here, and this is a copy of the book. We're going to work on a sketch cover tonight, and we'll do a giveaway just like we used to back in the old days. If you're interested in winning either of these, just like and comment. And if you don't subscribe or aren't a friend, or if you're just a passerby, feel free to connect that way so you don't miss future episodes. Not sure what to draw yet. We've got Conan, we've got Power Man and Iron Fist, we've got Turtles, Undersea Hero, got the Tick, Superman, Red Sonja, House of Secrets. So I'll show off a couple of the pieces that I did finish, because we're still finishing up the commissions that we had started on the channel. This is that Cynthia piece from The Witching Hour. Hey Dan, that's great to hear, man. 200, yeah. Hey Jonathan. This is how the colors turned out. You can see I went in and I used some colored pencil. We used some paint. We used all kinds of tricks to try to give this some pop. That was one of the pieces we worked on. And then here's the Tick piece that I colored. This is the other piece that I'd finished, and we're still working on the Legion of Superheroes piece that's over on the table there. Once these are out, done, that'll be the last of the big rewards that have to go out. And then this is a commission left over from Heroes, where this guy wanted the Tick-like characters all performing in a band. So I set it up. I don't know if anybody's ever been to the Midway in Boston. I kind of set up the stage like that. They used to set it up in JP. We got the Tick playing the triangle, Arthur like shuffling through music sheets, Cape Cod B playing guitar, and then I thought Rubber Ducky singing and playing the drums would be funny. If I were to design them as a band, I would see Cape Cod as doing the weird rap rock interludes of a 90s pop hit, vis-a-vis The Flies or another such band. So, but yeah, we'll keep working on those. And as far as what I've read, this was a book that my folks brought in a box of books from their house. My parents visited. This is actually written by Chris Claremont and drawn by Scott Eaton. And it was a fun read. So if you dig annuals, one and done stories. Eli Stone in the house. Having trouble picking out which sketch cover to work on. You got any opinions here? We got Superman, we got Red Sonja, we got House of Secrets, we got Ninja Turtles. I like Power Man. It is one of those earworm songs for sure. These are what we have to choose from tonight for 200. I don't know. I'm kind of partial to Power Man and Iron Fist. Is anybody anti-Power Man and Iron Fist? That was a book I always really enjoyed. It was fun. I'd also be interested in doing, I always like Swamp Thing. But I know the crowd likes the Ninja Turtles and the Tick and such, so I'm not opposed to any suggestions. Superman, the classic superhero that started it all. Hey Jason, good to see you, man. Welcome to 200. I don't know. I love Power Man and Iron Fist, but I think in my mind I've narrowed it down to these three. It is crazy. We started these live drawings all the way back during COVID as sketch relief, where I just did sketches and mailed them to people. And that's kind of something I wanted to talk about today. Was just what people might want to see in the future. Do you want to go back to that sort of format where I just put postcards in envelopes and mail them to people, or if we want to keep doing big projects, or if we switch up the topics? The tree situation, the car was totaled, so we're working things out with the insurance company. Just leave a comment, Peter. That's it, and that's all it takes. Good to see you. Um, these are the other ones we got. Other characters I've worked on. This is taking too long to decide. We could always do a team up. I also just thought of Superman and the Tick might be fun, since he's like the first superhero, and obviously there's a character early in the Tick that is a Superman stand-in, Clark Oppenheimer. Let's do that. That sounds like fun. And I think people would enjoy it. I have all these covers that like float around, and I don't know what to do with them. And I don't think sketch covers are as popular as they once were, and I just like them, so I keep doing them. And I buy them from other people too. Like I said, I can't always afford to buy artwork, but so. I think we're gonna start over here. That's true. Yeah, I mean, we talked about doing Dimebox as a channel project, so. Yeah, hey, I remember you guys. I was thrilled that you folks liked Undersea Hero, and that you were patient and actually came back for the completed first full book. That's the kind of stuff that makes the grind worth it. So, Tick and Superman crossover. I think that would be fun. I think that would be a fun way to use a sketch cover that I didn't know what to do with, and I think it would be a nice crowd pleaser for episode 200. And I've always enjoyed Superman, and I read Superman when I was in high school, when it was being written by various different writers. Steve Siegel wrote it at one point. Um, there was the Loeb McGinnis run that was very popular. Yeah, I read more Superman back then. I haven't jumped on the absolute bandwagon. Someone suggested I should draw like the absolute Tick, but like the tick is an exaggerated form, and then absolute is an exaggerated form. So I mean, I think that absolute tick would be something, you know, like this. There you go. I think that would do it. Be something like that. And then there'd be speed lines. Lots of speed lines. Hey, Sarah, nice to see you. Glad you and Peter could join us tonight. Gotta move the tick figure down because I want them to be interacting, and then there's like some speech going on. I'm actually gonna rough this out on the board because I can. I can move this one back just a little bit. Of course, there's a piece of Peter says, Absolute Batman is great. I got my 18-year-old daughter to finally read a comic book and share it with me. We look forward to it every month. Well, that's fantastic. And it's interesting that I'm not surprised that a reformed character for younger audiences doing well. I mean, they do that every generation to try to capitalize on changing tastes. When they made Ultimate Spider-Man for my generation, and I still didn't gravitate towards it, but it was massively popular, and it was a modern retelling of Spider-Man. I actually think I have my room. Hey Brian, good to see you. It's warm right now. I've got my window open. I hope you're doing well. I hope everything's going good with the family. I had a couple of people ask. No, I will not be at San Diego Comic-Con. So I will be here. I do have to renew my pro badge. Sometimes getting everything to fit onto a sketch cover takes a little noodling. Otherwise, you just kind of have to plow through. I want this to be a good Good one. I want it to be a good one. Eli says he's got $10,000 worth of tick art for Brian. Hey, it'll be great seeing you at Fan Expo Boston. There's a big creator guest list this year for Boston. I was really impressed. I think Kevin put together a very good lineup. Hey, good to see you, Eli. Thanks for popping in. Enjoy your walk. And thanks again for the shout out on your stream. That was very nice of you. One of the things I ran into recently is I thought I was just reaching one of those art like drawing blocks, and it turned out it was more of a writer's block. And it's an interesting thing because I look at my drawing as a balance between writing and artwork. And in this case, I was having trouble coming up with ideas that I was committed to seeing through all the way to the end of the drawing. I need to get myself an Eli Stone tick drawing. I've got some money. Maybe we'll make some money at Fan Expo Boston that I can give to Eli for a nice little drawing. He's been doing those beautiful posters. He keeps posting more of that stuff. Very, very impressive work. When I think about how I draw Superman, it's an interesting thing because I have so many different Superman versions in my head. We do trade drawings. When both artists want to trade, I'm always down for a trade. Like at a convention, if a fellow artist wants something from my table, I'm always happy to trade. Saves us the paperwork. Actually, a couple of pieces in my collection, I was able to trade with some dealers. I actually got a Mark's Silvestri Conan page for the pencils to one of my covers. It was like a full-size layout. It wasn't the finished drawing. And yeah, I look at that piece all the time, and I'm like, wow, I got a Mark Silvestri page for one of my pieces. It's a pretty good feeling. I bought other stuff from that dealer before. But anyway, when I think about Superman and the one in my head, he's been drawn by so many artists that it's hard for me to envision my own stuff drawing Superman and not comparing it to those artists. And then we'll do the classic drawing the logo. My taste in Superman artists have changed over the years. I used to like the really slick versions of him, but as I get older, I like some of the chunkier versions. I like the Wayne Boring version, which as a kid I would have thought was like super lame. I was just uncultured swine back then. I was the archetype of the strong man, I think, is we've got to not be afraid to cartoon, otherwise this is not going to work. Hey, Ruben, thanks, man. Ruben commissioned an original Acts of Helena cover for his subscription boxes, which was very cool. I think that was the second or first Fat Cat Funnies retailer variant that we ever did. So Ruben big supporter of the channel. So big thank you to Ruben. Because that's the type of thing where I'll take, if I make a little extra money on my own books, I'll reinvest it in, I pay for the subscriptions to Restream. I pay for, all sorts of stuff that is kind of the infrastructure of this. And I keep getting told to put it on Patreon, but I feel like if I put it behind a paywall, that it's not going to be the same thing. It'll become more commodified, and I don't know. Man of Tomorrow meets the Tick. I thought that would be fun. A little mashup. Notice how I'm more concerned about getting this hand right than whether or not Clark looks anything like he's supposed to. Oh, hey, Len. There are free options on Patreon. I don't know. I feel like everything gets commodified. I mean, I should. It's not that I don't feel like that. There's no value to it, but I don't know. Would people even go to a free option over there? I don't even know. I think part of the appeal of it is that it goes to all these different platforms all at the same time. I don't know, I'd have to look to see if Restream could also zap it over there. Oh, you already drew that great Jana War that I need to still update my website and get it on there. Always best fishes. Patrick says $3 a month is no big deal, me. Yeah, and that's kind of my point. You know, I do have a day job, and that means I don't have to commodify everything, which is a nice feeling. I remember having a discussion with Neil Adams at one point about the commodification of everything. And when I was at San Diego, his booth was right across from ours, so we would see Marilyn and Neil every morning, and he'd come over and talk with us for a little bit. And I think after sitting across from him for like weeks of my life, he still didn't remember my name. Joel did. Joel Adams did. And so did Zia. Yeah. We gotta lower this a little bit. But yeah, he would call me a stupid artist for not wanting to commodify everything. I've had other artists tell me I've got to charge for signatures and all these things, and I don't know. I like having a nice casual relationship. I still post the artwork. It's a nice drawing. I like it. I have a giant stack of drawings by artists, and I want to set up a gallery that's like everyone, you know, that is not me that has done something for Fat Cat Funnies, because it's a long list of award winners. His San Diego table booth was gigantic. You know, he was right across from us for years, and like I said, yeah, as he would sip his hotel coffee, he would hang out and chat with Bob Polio and myself for a little while. He was always pumping out those little profile head sketches. Like he would do, you know, 1,000 in a weekend. It was just like it was a machine. And he would do a couple of big ones. Like he would do he would always have one big painting going, and then or one colored drawing, and sorry for my neighbor's car alarm. I agree, Lynn. And I have moved further on your one pager. I do need to get you that soon. I know. Um, I had fun learning how your characters would look if I drew them. That was a fun process. I like their suits. It reminds me of the Challengers of Tomorrow, the Unknown, Challengers of the Unknown. Just classic comic book stuff. It was really, really cool. I'm gonna give Tick the tie that he wore in the early issues. Do I have the book right here? If I have the book right here, I'll plug it. It might be right here. I don't have it right here. It's in the living room. Sorry, Len. Yeah, feel free to drop a link, though. Chat is always open to anybody that hangs out's projects. Len always has a bunch of books going on. He's been publishing his own characters, and for a long time. I'm trying to think of what the first one I read was. I actually think you gave me a copy of one that you did for. There was a variant for Besties over here in New Bedford. I think that was the first one that I read. He does these magazines where it's like a giant comic, tons of pages, tons of artwork. Yeah, and you've done other crossovers with Tomorrow Girl. Yeah, I like Besties. Actually like the cookies there. Hey, I'm thrilled to hear that. It's a wonderful medium, and I'm glad that the tick um, got her to give it a try. It's really wonderful to hear. It's the kind of stuff that, like I said, it's rare, and I don't take it for granted. So thank you for telling me. It, that's the mission. Is to introduce people to stuff, and it's great that she was open minded, and you know, because they just the medium changed my life. So it gave me a lot. So I can't. When people refer to comics in general, um, it can be confusing or it can be different stuff. I just mean as a whole, like the art form, the many different types of publishing, all the creators, like that's the stuff. Roughing it out. We got to get in there with some better pencil work to clean up the cartooning. Looking for my regular. I don't want to use this one because that's got blue lead in it. There it is. It's my regular. Oh, there you go. Is it lenovationpress.com? Would that be the correct URL? Oh, there you go. Patrick asks, how many Lin puns did you try first? That's a valid and fair question because we are very very pro pun on this program. We've got to try to nail down the correct lines and not just these random lines that I'm using for structure. The Len is mightier than the sword. I dig it. Excellent work, Patrick. Gold star. Gold star. Yeah, when I think back to the early days when we did the what you call it, the COVID sketch relief shows, pumping out the sketches was stressful, but it was easy to mail them out because they just fit in envelopes, and I just dropped them in the mail. That was one thing I did like about it. Which makes you Patrick Star. I had originally considered like bringing on guests or whatever for this show, but then like everybody was busy doing shows and everything else, and I didn't want to. I really felt bad bothering people. Um, but if people would like more guest artists on, that is something I could reach out to people like further in advance, be like, hey, in August, would you be willing to do one of these or whatever? Could see if we could drag my buddy Joe and Craig and Daryl and everybody on here. I did post my recap of Heroes Con. That was my uh, first time doing like a video photo montagey recap thing. So it took me a little while to edit. But if people dig it, I would do more of that kind of stuff down the road. I tried really hard at Heroes to take pictures, and Jim Lee, question mark, question mark. He does the. I'm sure Jim would be happy to pop on my little show here. Good to see you, Kevin. I don't know, for the 200th episode, I know I should be working on the watercolors on that one piece that still has to paint, and then the other one that I still got to finish inking. But I just wanted to do something nice for everybody. I did. I had a great time at Heroes, Kevin. I got to see some people that I hadn't seen in years in person, which was really wonderful. Can I take you next year? If they invite me back, it was funny. Like they give you an extra badge if you're by yourself, which I was. So my uncle showed up. So if you would, if I don't have any uncles showing up, I mean, I don't think anybody would want to, go with me. So I might be able to get you a badge if they invite me back. So it was a massive show. Just probably the biggest artist room I've been in, where it's just artists. It's different than San Diego or New York. It's not. It's just not the same thing. Um, I wish I knew my way around better, because like I could have participated in some more stuff and been more prepared. Like when we got over to the drink and draw, like we worked the whole day and then we went right over. But like I guess you had to leave early to get a spot to do drawings or whatever, because there was no place to sit by the time we got there. So I ended up not doing anything for the drink and draw, which I felt bad about, because I told them I'd be happy to draw something for them. Oh, excellent. There were just insane numbers of vendors there, and they had any book you could possibly want, you'd probably find there if you had the money for it. I did see, an Action One, a Detective 27. I did not see a first appearance of Aquaman. I did not see a more fun issue of Aquaman. I did not see that. I think it's harder to find because fewer people cared about it. Like either that or they're just buried in like those forever collections at this point. But I see that far less often than I see early Batman first appearances or Golden Age Superman stuff. I did at one point almost have a chance to buy a copy, and it was a vendor that I'd known for many years, and he had a coverless copy, and I offered him more than a fair deal on it, and he decided he didn't want to sell it. So it's not like I wasn't willing to pay. I know what they cost, and at the time I had the money, so it's crazy. Like I went in with a mission of, if I'm spending any money, it's just on artwork, and that's what I did. I ended up paying for some signatures on some stuff. Like I think to have Ron Friend sign my art page in my first comic book, I think that cost me $20, $10 for each signature. Um, you know, when an artist charges, I don't be like, "Hey, I'm an artist too. Would you give me a free one?" I just say thank you and pay whatever they tell me, or their handler. I think in this case it was their handler. One of the fun memories I'll take away was talking to Pat Olive and Ron, who when I like we talked about it on the stream. When I was young, they were some of the artists that took the time to sit down with me and look at my portfolio and give me some advice. That's right. That's right. I have started noodling on ideas. I have the ideas for issue two. I do have to. I have to start doing some layouts for that before it gets too late in the year. Peter says that the TMNT one first print is the grail for him. Yeah, that's a big book, and it's only gotten bigger. Like it's interesting. That gets us our cartooning. Since we're doing watercolor, maybe we'll color this one too. I don't know. See if we got time. I'll pick the winner tonight because I got the. How long did issue one take you to do? The triple issue, because of my job and moving and everything, took me almost 2 years. But I do think that if I just did a standard 18-page comic, I could easily get a couple of those done in a year. I do have some other projects that I should also do that I want to do. So it might be one of those where I do an Undersea hero, thing I can't tell you about, and like an Iron Face or something each year, and that would be good for me. Thanks, Marthas. And we're going to do short stories for Dimebox. I've got my Kenton of Space Patrol, which was originally drawn by Carmine Infantino and Joe Kubert story, roughed out with the character sketches. I haven't shown them to anybody, but that's been one of those like on my lunch break kind of things where I've noodled away at what that will be. And I've talked to some publishers about doing covers and stuff, and that's kind of catch as catch can. I would like there's a few things on my bucket list. I already got to do a Conan. If I could do a Burroughs cover, like I would love to draw John Carter fighting a Thark or something. I think that would be cool. The Phantom, like just some of the old pulp stuff that like it's hard to get people to be interested in doing like a retailer variant or whatever. And I have no contacts at Mad Cave, so I don't know if they'd ever consider me for like a ratio variant or something. I read the first couple issues of the Mad Cave version of the Phantom. I thought it was terrific. I thought it was absolutely terrific. I love the art style. I liked I preferred the interior artist, just because of the feeling and the mood and everything. I like Freddie Williams, who did the cover that I picked up, but I just liked the animated bounce. Like clearly, the interior artist was like a big Darwin Cook slash Hergé slash the classic cartooning fan. And I just thought that was a really fresh approach to the Phantom that I hadn't seen. Need to do a better job on the lettering. I saw that Nate Picos of Blambot is doing a convention in Providence, and I might go just to see Nate Picos, the letterer from Blambot. And if you're a comic book artist and you're an indie artist, Blambot has free licenses for indie publishing. So, like, they put their money where their mouth is when it comes to giving resources to up and coming creators and self published books. I really do enjoy lettering. Like, I don't know, there's just something about it. I wonder if anybody would ever let me letter like their story, just on the board. I would only do it on the board. I've lettered other books digitally, and let me tell you, that is a grind because usually they want a ton of pages real fast. I'll have to ask some of my artist buddies to see if they'll let me letter one of their stories right on the board. Hey, miss you too, Kevin. Thanks for popping in. I'll see you on the another stop down the tracks. Best to Sharon. Yeah, this was drawn by Ivan Reyes. Man, he's good. I mean, look at that. Look at the modeling on that. That's just brilliant. The lighting. Is this Joe Prado? Yeah, Joe Prado did the inks. I didn't read this run. I only read a couple of issues. And I like Bendis's X-Men, so I don't know. And I liked his Daredevil. Another person who's Daredevil I liked quite a bit that doesn't get a lot of love, but I saw a video of him floating around. That would be fun. I mean, you've seen my lettering; it's got a bounce to it. So it's I don't know if it's a dark, serious story. It might not be a fit. Oh, Megaton Man, that might fit if Don is cool with it. Yeah, it's a great. It was a great shot. And it's one of those things I've been messing with lately. I think about metal. You have that hard showing the edge of the hardest light, and then this is showing the back of like the shadow. If light is hitting here, there's still that rim lighting on both sides, and that's kind of what he's doing here. It's kind of a rim light that has a bit of an edge. I think the colorist missed one of the highlights he wanted. Like this should probably be almost white along the edge. You see, it goes all the way down to the jaw. There's actually a line there. If you see it, there's an ink line here. And I think that this yellow highlight, or it should be either lighter or harder all the way and fill up all the way to that line. I think that was the intention. And I think this here is supposed to be like white. And then you have the modeling. I think that's how I read it, but I could be wrong. Cool. And that's the beauty of comics. You meet some fellow creators, and they're like, "Hey, how about we make a thing?" Go. I've been trying to disconnect this little part of the shoulder that I've been drawing connected for years, and it's wrong. So like that's one of my old crutches. Do the classic Silver Age. What? And then we'll I've got my Ames guide, so it's right over here. It's in this bag here. I didn't leave it out. I actually put it away after I used it last. How about that? Brownie points for me for putting it away after using it. I could have reversed it. I could have just put hey in front of Superman and put the tick here and then had Clark looking up, but I thought him knowing it was Clark and like Superman being what would be a better gag. Height right. Vanishing point so that it matches. That's actually how the tick logo works, is by the vanishing point. So it's in perspective and it's 2-point perspective. The other one is actually closer to the bottom, so it's like right here. It's in the middle. Do it like that. If you connect all the dots, and then you just cut it off. You cut it short. And that basically gives you the tick logo. I always like that gag when the logo would be in the speech balloon. Dungeon Crawler Carl. I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. I haven't been to a comic book store in a little while. Is it a new comic book that just came out, or is it has it been around and I just missed it? I'll Google it. I'll look it up on the interwebs. I've heard of it. If you guys think I would like it, I'll check it out. Is it fun? Is it zany? Is there uh, discernible wackiness? Hey Ethan, good to see you, man. Oh, it was a webtoon. Oh, okay. I think having like some rubble on the tick would be a good storytelling. Their cat's name is Donut. I like. Yes, yes. I was actually just brushing Bruce before we came on here. Yes. Cat named Donut. Oh, okay. So they did a free comic book day issue. If it was the biggest hit, then it might be expensive. But I'll check the eBay. I'll check the Bay for a copy. I don't know if it's become one of those where they have it on the Key Collector app, and They only sell the 9.8s. Anything under a 9.8 is thrown into space. I don't know. I don't know. Did I ever read My Bad from So Packed I had to get a table on the patio? So packed. Are you at a restaurant? Is that why you're on the patio? I never read My Bad from Ahoy. I have read some Ahoy comics. What did I read from Ahoy? There was like an Edgar Allan Poe book that John Lucas worked on. It was like an anthology of different artists' take on Poe and his stories. That was interesting. There was something else I read from Ahoy. Did they do one of Carl Kiesel's books or one of those? I don't remember. Yeah, I'll look on eBay. Maybe I'll get lucky. There was a Rick Leonardi double page spread on eBay before I came on here that was at like $15. And I knew it wouldn't stay at that, but every now and again on eBay, I've thrown in a random bid and won something for like far cheaper than it should have gone. Like that's how I got like a Bob Layton Iron Man page for $40. It's kind of like it would be stupid not to bid on it, but this one, the collectors found it, and it will sell for at least over what I can afford, even though it's probably still going to go for less than $200, which for a double page spread is peanuts. Uh, Thanks, Ethan. Good to see you, man. Thanks for popping in. All right. Well, maybe what we will do, let's try to get our rule of thirds here. Boom. We need something. Get the smoke like this. And then if we can fill this in around it, and that'll give us a little bit of a break, because I would like a break from Clark / Superman rather than it abutting his face like that. That is just driving me nuts. So if we can give ourselves a little bit of a buffer there, that would be good. I am still drawing. I do have a couple of shows coming up, Eli. So if you wanna come be a table bud at one, let me know. I can reach out to the powers that be. You're a busy family man, so. One's in Boston, and then one's up in New Hampshire. It's the Granite State Show. It's in Manchester. I'll send you the details, just perchance you have time. Eli's a busy man. He's got kiddos to take care of, selling those beautiful posters at the local establishments. Those big travel posters he's been working on that look great. I'm not doing Plastic City. I didn't bug. Uh, I didn't bug them about doing the show this year. I saw him at Wicked Comic Con. I haven't been there since they moved from the ice rink. So should we start inking or should we call it? I don't know. Should probably start inking. Let's get the right tools out. Like that. Let's see how this one. This one's got ink. Yeah. Oops. That is definitely in the way. There we go. It was always a good show. As far as like, it was back then it was a 1 day show. I don't know if it's still a 1 day show. And all comics, and yeah, I always enjoyed it. And I sold books there, so like I try to be straight if a show, I don't do well from like a sales standpoint or anything like that. So um, and talking, I mean, even going back to Heroes, like Friday and Saturday were awesome. Sunday was slow, and it wasn't just me. So but I was able to go around and talk to people and see people, and that was all excellent. I think I was actually at the first one. I think I was at the first Plastic City, and I don't know. I think I did it a couple of times. Any good monster or water monster themed songs I know of? Monster or water monster themed songs. Not sure entirely what you mean. Do you mean a song that's about monsters or monsters that have a theme song? So I think obviously the most famous water monster with a theme song is Jaws. What's our light source here? I think I had it coming down and hitting here. Here. Yeah, I think our light source is here. Oh, thanks, Brian. And we'll do this like we did the raffles in the past. Is when I finish the drawing, I'll draw the name tonight, which I will hold until the drawing's done, and then I will post it tomorrow on the social media, and I'll DM people who win. And then, as per usual, you just tell me where to mail it, or if you want to mail it to your best friend, your greatest enemy, whichever. What's that? Oh yeah, it's on Len. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube and my website, and it's on Twitch. So I broadcast to all those at the same time so that people can watch from their preferred location. We've got a good. It's usually most of the time it's YouTube and Facebook, which is why I've asked like, should we just do YouTube? Because if I was picking just one, that would be the one. I know a lot of songs about the ocean, but I don't know about like monster songs. Um, Fisherman's Blues by the Waterboys. Yeah, I think we'll finish his head and then we will call it a night. Switch tools. So it's getting a little dull. Tell me about MySpace. Yeah, when I look at my analytics, we get a fair number of people, but most people just pop in and watch for a little while. That's generally what I see on my analytics after the show. Like I'll have, usually well over 100 different people pop in at various times and watch for anywhere from 30 seconds to 15 minutes. I usually filter out anything that's less than a minute as far as looking at the numbers goes, just because that could be anybody just scrolling past, so they're not really watching; they just happen to come upon it. Definitely not. Well, I'm starting to sweat from all of the heat coming into my studio, so I think we're gonna call it a night. But you can see where we're going. It'll be the Tick and Superman. We'll finish this up this week, and we'll pick somebody to raffle right after the show. And yeah, thanks for everybody for coming in and asking questions and chatting and hanging out. So it was really nice to see everybody. Peter, uh, Len, Martha's, anybody that's still hanging around. On my end, it says we got about a dozen folks watching still. So thanks everybody for tuning in. And yeah, I hope you have a good night, a good weekend, and thanks for supporting me through 200 episodes. We made it. We made it. So I hope to see you folks next week, and I will talk to you later. Night, everybody.